because the cover does not lead you to believe that. There are ducklings on this cover. Hi everyone, my name's Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading, and today I'm going to be reading some romance books. A couple weeks ago now was Peace Talks, and I had a whole stack of books I wanted to read for Peace Talks, and Peace Talks didn't quite go as I planned. I only ended up reading 2 from my stack, but when I set up my stack at the beginning of Peace Talks to get a video of it for my B-roll for the Peace Talks video, I realized that unintentionally I had picked all pink books. Every single one of them was pink, which gave me the idea to read pink romance books because these were all books I wanted to read this month anyway, and why not make a video of me reading them? So that's what we're going to be doing in this vlog. I'm going to be reading 3 romance books on my TBR that are pink. I'm very excited to get to all 3 of these. 2 of them are pretty well hyped here on BookTube. One I actually have never heard of, except that I found it in a store maybe 6 months ago. Thought it looked really cute and ended up picking it up. So we're gonna be reading all 3 during this vlog. The first one I'm gonna start with is actually one of the books that ended up on my Timmy's TBR, and that is The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane. I am so excited to read this book. I read Kiss Her Once for Me in December and fell in love with Alison Cochrane's writing and the way Alison Cochrane writes characters with fantastic disability rep. I loved Kiss Her Once for Me, and I knew I had to go back and read The Charm Offensive. So here we are. We're reading The Charm Offensive. This follows Charlie and Dev. Dev is a producer on a popular reality TV show called Ever After, very similar to The Bachelor. This year, though, he is tasked with helping their current Prince Charming come off well on camera because it's not going well. Their new Prince Charming is not comfortable on camera, is socially awkward, and is just having a hard time fitting into what they need him to do for the show. That Prince Charming is our other main character, Charlie, and Dev needs to help Charlie find love on this show. I know this is a contemporary romance. I know it's a queer contemporary romance, so I'm suspecting that something happens between Charlie and Dev, and maybe Charlie does find love on the show, but not in the way he's supposed to with all of the contestants. Who knows? We'll see if that is what pans out, but I'm thrilled to be reading this book. I know there is mental health rep in this book, but I don't know what mental health rep it is going in. I will know once I start reading it, obviously. So I'm going to go and start this, and I will come back and talk to you very, very soon because I think I'm going to fly through this book, just knowing how much I enjoyed Alison Cochrane's writing before. I have finished The Charm Offensive, and it should come as no shock to anyone that I am giving this 5 stars. This was absolutely fantastic, which I have come to expect from Alison Cochrane, and I will forever read everything Alison Cochrane would like to put pen to paper to, because this is the second book that I've read from Alison Cochrane. Alison Cochrane has only ever released 2 books, and I have 5-starred both of them. So like I said, this follows Charlie, and I think I said Dev in the last clip because it's spelled D-E-V, but the audiobook says Dave. So I've now come to think of him as Dave. So we're gonna go with that for now. So Charlie comes on the show Ever After. Charlie is socially awkward and he's just not good on camera. He's not good on camera. He's only come on the show because he has been ousted from his company due to a panic attack that he had at his company. And frankly, that's atrocious that would happen, but that is what has happened. So Charlie has come on the show to get like good press in the hopes of getting back into the tech world or back into his company. Dave is set to be his producer and basically his handler on the show. And very quickly, these two have strong chemistry. Charlie has never been in a relationship with anyone and has never really felt attracted to anyone. So we kind of see Charlie trying to figure out his sexuality throughout this book, whether he is gay or demisexual or asexual. We're following that journey through this whole book, and I found that very fascinating. And I really enjoyed Alison Cochrane exploring that in a romance novel. You don't see it very often. Also, like I said, Charlie was ousted due to his mental illness. So Charlie has OCD and also a panic disorder. Dev also has depression. So we see a lot of mental health rep in this book. Again, this is something that I've seen in both of Alison Cochrane's books is mental health rep. It seems to be something that the author feels strongly about tackling. And I love seeing it portrayed in this romance novel. There was nothing about this that I didn't like. Even the third act breakup made perfect sense. I'm not a big fan of third act breakups for communication differences, but in this case, there was a big obstacle that they had to overcome because he was on the show and obligated to become engaged to one of these women. And obviously, his producer's not supposed to be doing what he's doing. So there were legitimate reasons why there were difficulties in this relationship, and they had to work through those differences. So all of it made perfect sense, and I absolutely loved this book. Highly, highly recommend The Charm Offensive. Highly recommend Kiss Her Once for Me, and I cannot wait for the sequel to this book. It's either a sequel or a novella coming out for the holiday season, and I will be reading it this holiday season. I can guarantee you. I cannot wait. The next book that I'll be picking up for this pink romance vlog is a book that I think I picked up at Indigo Books a few months ago because it was part of a buy 3 for 10 situation, and I knew nothing about it, but it looked cute, and I read the back, thought it was cute, and here we are, we're finally reading it. And that is Make Me Wilder by Serena Bell. This is the first in a series. I don't know what kind of series, because like I said, I don't really know anything about this book. But the tagline on the back is what got me. It was, "This tent is too small for both of us, and I like it that way." And I picked it up. So here we are. This follows Gabe. He is the owner or person who runs Wilder Adventures with his brothers and his family, which is like an outdoor adventure company. It is set in a small town. You know I love a small town called Rush Creek. And it was doing really well until Rush Creek started to change and become more spa and wedding destination specific versus wilderness specific. Now the company is struggling in this new era of this small town, and Lucy has come to help them out. Lucy works in PR somehow and is going to help them rebrand the company. Gabe does not want to rebrand the company. He knows he has to, but is not for it. And Lucy has come from New York, and he sees her as this not gonna fit in a small town girl and thinks she's gonna take over and not understand the wilderness aspect of the company. And they are enemies due to this. That is pretty much all that I know about this book, is that it's an enemies to lovers. Like I said, I only picked this up because I needed a third book in a 3 for 10 situation, but it looks really interesting. I love this like a cute cover. I'm actually really starting to fall in love with the illustrated covers on romance novels. I think they're really like cute covers. Plus it's pink, so we're gonna be reading it right now. I'm excited to try it, see what this book is all about, and I will come back and let you know what I think. It doesn't have that many ratings on Goodreads. I think it has like under 2,000 ratings on Goodreads. So I'm gonna read this next for Pink Romance, and I will check back in with you shortly once I know more about the book, because I will have read it. I have finished Make Me Wilder by Serena Bell. This is the first book in the Wilder Adventure series. Like I said, this cover tricked me. This cover is cute. It looks like a cute rom-com, which it was, but this was very smutty. I was actually so shocked at how smutty this book was, because the cover does not lead you to believe that. There are ducklings on this cover. I was not expecting it, not a problem. Totally had a great time with this book. Actually had a much better time than I was anticipating, and I need to read this whole series. So now that I've read the first book, I know a little bit more about what this series entails. This follows Wilder Adventures. There are 5 brothers in this family who run this adventure park. The first book follows Lucy and Gabe. Lucy is come from New York and is doing PR for the company so that they can start making changes and working with the new direction that the town is going into, which is wedding venues and spa weekends and things like that. They're still going to be doing their wilderness adventures, but also trying to kind of market to more women and couples adventures as well. Gabe and the brothers are not so sure about these changes, but their mom has hired Lucy and there's really nothing they can do about it. Lucy and Gabe have instant chemistry. Even before Gabe knows who Lucy is, there's some chemistry between these 2 characters. And I really loved this romance and I loved these couples. And honestly, I loved all 5 brothers. Obviously, this is Gabe's book, so Gabe was the main character in this, but we got to meet all 5 of the brothers. And I know each book follows one of the brothers and their romance, and I need to read this series. I want to drop my TBR to read this series. I can't because I need to read things for videos and I need to be a responsible booktuber, but I could easily chuck out my TBR just to binge this series. I enjoyed it that much. Is this book perfect? No. But my enjoyment level was top tier. I devoured this book. I enjoyed the heck out of my time with it. And for that reason, and that reason only, it's getting 5 stars. Because I haven't had a book where I wanted to just dive into the whole series at full tilt in a long time. I think the last time I felt like this about a series was the Witsex series by Ashley Rostek, which I loved and just dived right into. I can't do it with this because I really do need to do other things, but I've already come up with a plan to get through this series over the next coming months and make some videos around it because I think I'm obsessed. This writing style really reminded me of Tessa Bailey. I know Tessa Bailey isn't everybody's favorite, but this writing style is very similar. So if you like Tessa Bailey, I think you would really like these books. And the next book follows Brody, which is, again, one of the other brothers. And you'll be seeing me read that very, very soon because I need to read this whole series. I've already got it for my Kindle. I went and bought the whole series on Kindle as soon as I finish this. And I'm pretty sure through my ravings to Kelsey on Messenger, I've also convinced Kelsey to buy the whole series because I had such a great time with this book. Like I said, is it technically the best book in the world? No. But it was such a great time. I couldn't put it down. I devoured through it, and I need to read the rest of this series. Very, 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 very soon. Also, I forgot to mention, this is set in a really small town called Rush Creek. I loved this small town. You know I love a small town romance. This was perfect small town vibes. And it also had a really great family dynamic between the 5 brothers, their mother, and their sister Amanda. And I cannot wait to see more of that as the other books go through this series. I'm so excited to continue this series if you can't tell. That being said, we still have one more book for this vlog, this pink romance vlog, and I have one more pink romance that I want to read, and that is The Wedding Crashers by Mia Sosa. I read The Worst Best Man for Romcomathon just this past February. Had a wonderful time with it, gave it 4 stars, had a really great time. I've heard universally from people who have read both books that The Wedding Crashers is even better. So we've already had 2 5-stars in this vlog. Can we have an all 5-star vlog? It's never happened to me before, but I've heard amazing things about this book. So there is a possibility that that may happen. This follows Solange. Solange is helping her sister who is a wedding planner, but Solange sees something that makes it very obvious to her that this wedding should not be taking place, that this couple should not be meant to be. I don't know what that is, but obviously it must be a pretty big deal. Solange does step up and say something, and basically the wedding does not happen. Dean is a lawyer at a firm and needs to make partner at his firm, but needs to have a wife and a family in order to be considered for partner. So he was marrying this woman as basically a marriage of convenience. And now Solange has blown up his marriage of convenience. And he blames her, rightfully so. It kind of is her fault. She didn't know that it was a marriage of convenience, but still. And he needs her to help him become partner. So they start a fake dating relationship. I would have to say fake dating is one of my favorite tropes in romance. So the fact that this is a fake dating romance is already a win in my book. I also already know I love Mia Sosa's writing style, so that's going to be a win. There are a lot of things in the pro-con for this book. I'm going to go read this and I will chat with you very, very shortly. I have finished The Wedding Crashers by Mia Sosa. This was such a fun read. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed that there was a lot of characters from The Worst Best Man in this book. At the beginning of the book, Solange is helping her cousin who is a wedding planner, and in my head, I did not connect that that was Lena from the first book. Because these are not listed as companion novels, they're listed as 2 standalone novels. I'm kind of surprised by that because in my mind, they are more of a companion novel situation. If Lena was just in the first chapter, I would say, oh, it's just a cameo. But like the whole family is through the whole book and through the whole part of The Worst Best Man. Max is in multiple chapters in the book. He is our main male character from The Worst Best Man. Lena's through this whole book, also our main female character from The Worst Best Man. So in my mind, these are more companion novels than 2 standalone novels. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that, but that's my thoughts. I'm glad that I read them in the order that they were published in because of that. And that's why I'm letting you know, because maybe you'd like to read it in that order as well. Because in the world of this family, that is the chronological order of things. The Worst Best Man happened, and then like a year or 2 later, The Wedding Crashers happens. And like I said, there are a lot of character overlaps, a lot. Not just our main male and female characters from The Worst Best Man, but like the whole family is in both books. This was definitely super spicy. It was, in my opinion, spicier than The Worst Best Man, but I'm okay with that. I had a great time with it. And like I said, I really had a good time. I liked dialing back into this Brazilian family and this Brazilian culture. That was my favorite part of The Worst Best Man, was seeing the culture and the family dynamics of this family. And we had that all in this book as well. Loved Dean, loved Solange, and just had a really great time with this book. I liked the relationship. There were times where I was laughing. The banter was really good. And this was a great time, 4 stars. And I'm really excited to see what Mia Sosa comes out with next. Because at this point, I've read both of Mia Sosa's adult books. I think Mia Sosa has a couple of YA books, but I've read all the adult, I'm pretty sure. That being said, that is the end of this vlog. We had 2 5 stars and a 4 star. Cannot complain about the outcome of these pink romance novels. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.